of the White House.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. God. Ben, how are you, pal? One of the best guys in the United States Congress, Ben Cardin. Folks, welcome to the White House. It's a delight to have you all here. And who are those good-looking kids back there? Are your kids, all four of them? Well, stand up, guys.
John, we'll jump back in here. Considering the moment,
we were told that the
shooting that just happened left 3 children dead, 3 adults dead, shooters dead, and we were told he would be addressing this off the top.
She used to be 3 years. Yeah, it's rather surprising. I thought that a somber President Biden would have come to the podium here and addressed the school shooting.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been pretty busy lately, but I finally got some time to do a video on what happened yesterday in Nashville, the shooting that left 6 dead, 3 children and 3 adults. Absolutely horrific, tragic incident. And you saw the video I played in the beginning, and that was Joe Biden addressing the issue. Now, there is a little bit of context behind it. Joe Biden was at a summit about small businesses for women. However, as the president of the United States, I'm sure he was briefed that he had to address what happened in Nashville. And keep in mind, the shooting happened earlier in the morning. I think it happened around 10 or 11 o'clock. It was earlier in the day. And he addressed it finally at almost 3 p.m. So he knew, or at least should have been informed about it before he even stepped up to the podium to speak about it at all. Knowing that this is already weighing on the hearts of many Americans, I don't think it's appropriate to get up there on stage and talk about how much you love ice cream. It just doesn't make sense to me. And, you know, this is why for a long time we've questioned his cognitive, where he's at cognitively, his cognitive decline, because whether he forgot to mention it initially or if that was his plan to go down there and talk about ice cream, it just leads you to the question of if this guy is really even fit and all there and understanding what's going on and if he should even be in the Oval Office. But I don't want to make this all about Biden. We got to talk about the shooting, the suspect. We got to talk about a lot of things. So as usual, when a mass shooting like this happens, leftist news outlets, the first thing they want to talk about is gun control, gun reform. All Republicans do is give thoughts and prayers. The NRA, conservatives and Republicans don't care about kids. I understand how emotional of a situation this is for the people involved, first and foremost, and most importantly, but then everyone who's a parent and, just cares about children and doesn't want to see this happen. And I hate seeing this happen whenever it happens. I don't care if the shooter was a right wing or left wing. Nobody wants to open their phone and see that some other lunatic has gotten into a school and, shot innocent people, innocent children. This is something that we should be having reasonable and rational conversations about so that we can get to an actual conclusion, so that we can actually move the needle on this and come up with a solution that actually protects the people, the most vulnerable people who we want to protect. We always talking about marginalized groups, but no, the most vulnerable people, the most vulnerable population we have in this country are children. They are the most vulnerable, children and the unborn, but those are the most vulnerable people we have. Now, of course, the left and the Biden administration wants to go after guns. They think that banning AR-style weapons, assault weapons, whatever that means, they think that will somehow miraculously get rid of all of the issues we have with shootings in this country.
We must do more, and he wants Congress to act because enough is enough. In his State of the Union, the president called on Congress to do something to stop the epidemic of gun violence, tearing families apart, tearing communities apart. How many more children have to be murdered before Republicans in Congress will step up and act to pass the assault weapons ban? to close loopholes in our background check system, or to require the safe storage of guns. We need to do something. Once again, the president calls on Congress to do something before another child is senselessly killed in a preventable act of gun violence. Again, we need to do something.
But in my opinion, and I'm sure many of you would agree, the problem is not that simple. The solution is not to just ban assault-style weapons. Again, whatever that means. They throw this term around, assault-style, to, fear-monger people, but, you talk about AR-15s, you talking about rifles, what are you talking about? People need to understand that guns do not kill people. It is 100% the person behind that gun, the person wielding it, that is the danger. The gun is not the danger. Guns have been here and been around for a very long time, but you see an increase in these type of shootings happening. You see an increase in school shootings and mass shootings. I think the quiet part that we're not talking about is the decline of our society in terms of spirituality, in terms of mental fortitude, in terms of the citizens of this country actually loving and respecting this country. We could also talk about the rhetoric behind political issues in this country and the way we speak, which charges people to be violent and to be angry and to lash out against, their political adversaries. How else can you interpret a country who's losing faith in moral values, losing faith in the family structure, on all types of antidepressant medications, dealing with, mental health issues ranging from A through Z, people who think they can be men and men can be women, which is a mental illness, in my opinion, gender dysphoria, which the perpetrator of this shooting was going through and dealing with. A country of young people ruled by social media who have no respect for the law and are just entitled to whatever crazy opinion that they have, entitled to believe that everything that they want should be handed to them and given to them. Our country is dealing with a whole slew of problems, and I think that's what we need to really be focused on instead of going for this gun grab, because you can grab the gun, sure. Take people's AR-15s away. Take people's guns away. What's next when another shooting happens after you ban AR-15s? Because banning AR-15s isn't just going to magically make them disappear. They'll still be in circulation somewhere. There is a black market. People do sell guns illegally already right now. I think a very reasonable measure we could take to prevent shootings like this from happening in schools is to have one or two, either police officers proficiently trained with using their weapon, not some, Joe Schmo from the force, somebody who actually knows what they're doing, either that or ex-military personnel at the school to protect the kids, to protect the children. And obviously these people should be vetted, the utmost. They should be vetted. They should have some sort of background check, because you don't just want to have anyone around your kids with a gun. I understand that. I understand why parents might not be so comfortable with that idea. But at this stage in the game, I think it's something that we definitely need to talk about, because over the years, these school shootings have been increasing. And I don't think it's because the number of guns available have been increasing. Guns have always been available. Rifles have been available since what? Vietnam. Since way back in the day, you could go and get a rifle. But again, it's the people using the rifles. What is going on with the spiritual and mental fabric with people in this country who think it's okay, or who see this as some sort of fantasy to go and fulfill, to go into a school and do this? Again, I understand how emotional this topic could be, but because of the severity behind it, you have to be ready and willing to sit down and have an uncomfortable conversation and challenge some of the things you may or may not believe about it. Big salute to the officers who got down there in 10 minutes, I think it was, to go and respond to this shooting. They didn't wait. They didn't hesitate. They went straight into that school. They geared up and they attacked the shooter head on. And, they did what they had to do. But imagine if it was someone in there ready and willing to deal with that situation when it first happened. Imagine if we had more deterrence surrounding the school. It could be anything, like just cop cars patrolling, or, cop cars stationed. You could even have an empty cars, just station it as a deterrent. Imagine if we took more of these measures. We talk about how expensive things may be, but, you know, we sending all types of money to Ukraine and, you know, helping them deal with the war that they got going on. Well, what about the issue we have here in our own country? People on the left who think all conservatives and Republicans simply don't care about the lives of children because we don't want to go ahead and agree to ban these weapons. You know, it's not that simple. It's deeper than that. The right to bear arms is our Second Amendment right, and it's there for a reason, a very specific reason. Now, I'm going to close this video out by saying I think the way the media operates is problematic and could very well have played a part in this incident. We got news outlets and TV personalities all the time talking about how there is an outright attack on trans people, trans genocide, you know, trans elimination. You know, none of this stuff is actually happening. But when you listen to people in the media talk, when you listen to these, you know, Hollywood, you know, figureheads speak, you'll think that there are actually people out here hunting down and trying to eradicate trans people. That is all fabrication. It's not happening, and it's really just fear-mongering language. The individual who carried out this heinous act was a part of the trans community, was going through a transition, had gender dysphoria. We don't have the exact motive yet, but I'm sure going through gender dysphoria, being someone who, you know, identifies as the opposite gender, the opposite sex, what may be it, you know, imagine and thinking that you live in a world where people like you are under attack and people like you are, you know, at risk of genocide. You know, come on, man. I mean, that can't, you know, that has to go hand in hand in some capacity. But yeah, guys, that's all I got on this for right now. Not too many, you know, facts or, you know, much I could really offer that you guys haven't already heard by now at this point. You know, I'm a day late on doing this, but yeah, just want to say, if you're a person of faith, put your prayers up. Forget what the left is talking about, you know, saying, you know, prayers and thoughts. You know, keep on praying because this entire country needs it. Pray for the families involved in this and pray for America. But until next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.